Hi, she's Trixie and I'm Sarah, and this is our Yarn World, a place where we come to share the love of yarn crafts and what it gives us and we hope it gives you. And today we're coming on episode 69. So we have a bit of a update on some of our projects and what we plan to do next, and we're hoping that it might give you some ideas. We've been really enjoying some of the things that we've been doing and actually following patterns, and branching out into different things,
trying new things,
kind of just making much more of a variety. So so we will start off with you. I think this is really coming together really nicely.
I know. So just to recap, the circles have been made into squares, the squares have been sewed together, and because they were just one long rectangle, I had to branch out on each side.
Once they were sewn together, so she did 4 by 8 rows of squares. Yes. Yeah. So with that being said, now she's kind of widening out the blanket so that it is a much more functional blanket by doing strips of color.
Yes. And so each side has one of each color, and starting off with the yellow, because yellow and black, it was just the
brightest difference.
The brightest color I could think of. And I have both sides done with
strips.
Two rows. Yes, 2 rows of double crochet of each color. And then now I'm going around to the top and the bottom. And so since I ended in orange, I started going around the top of the corner in the orange, and I'm going to come back. This is just the first row, and then I'll make it a 2-row repeat, and then I'll cap it off with a row or 2 of black.
So just to recap, obviously right now she's just doing one side of this. She'll go back onto the bottom, do...
No. I'm gonna...
Oh, you're going around.
No, I'm going...
All the way around?
No. I did the 2 rows of orange.
To finish off that.
And I kept going around the top.
Yeah, I know.
And then once I get to the other end of the top, I'm gonna head back.
Yes. That's what I said.
And then when I get down to the bottom, I'll just do 2 rows of that bottom, at the bottom. I'm not going all the way around.
I never said that.
So.
I never said that. No, what I said was that once you're done with this, you're going to repeat that at the bottom so it's fully squared off.
Yes. Yes. And then I will have orange all the way around, and then I will finish off with black.
Because she did the same sequence of colors on the other side. So the orange is all these colors are the same on the other side, and orange was the last color she finished off on. So now she's just doing the side without the stripes, and orange before she borders the whole thing in black.
And the polka dots are just kind of
so cool.
randomly placed, and just so pretty, and I love it.
It's really just coming together so nicely.
And this pattern is was a pattern started by Krista at the Secret Yarnery. Now, she just did the polka dots, and I think she outlined hers to make them into squares. I think she did a black and a white. Not on the same blanket. One was just black, one was just white. She did not have the stripes on the side. I'm doing that myself.
Yeah, you're doing it yourself because you stopped making the circles into squares.
Yeah.
And otherwise...
It wasn't a equal number. If I had done 64 or
you know a
lot more, yeah, I just didn't have a square number. So, yeah. I should have thought about that a little bit more, but really, after you do so many, because I could have done 6 by 6. If I had done 4 more, I could have done 6 by 6. But really, by the time you do 32 circles and then 32 making them into squares, you're kind of done. You don't want to really do it again.
I get it.
So, I mean, unless you really, really love this, I can say that I probably might make it in the future, but it's not going to be the next blanket I make. So, you know, I do still have the pattern. It's really pretty now, and I think it would be really great in white as well, for a background color, but various colors for the polka dots. I don't know. I'm a color girl. I really like the color. So it's making me happy. I should have it all finished next week though.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry if the camera was shaky. I just realized I've been tapping on the table, so I am so sorry. I finished the dragon completely. He is right here. I did add front arms so it can sit. The tail, the wings, the legs. This is the head from this angle. Side profile. But yeah, the eyes.
Eyes and everything. It's just so cool.
Is it gonna focus? Is it gonna choose not to focus? There we go. Kind of. There we go. Just a little bit. Yeah, so I use kind of two, if it'll focus again, I use 2 seed beads to kind of make the eyes for both sides. I did them in like the, chameleon, the chameleon color. Seed beads, because I thought that any color it might, because you know with chameleon it kind of changes depending on the angle. It's generally like greens and purples and teals and pinks. That's normally what that chameleon color is, but it's always in that, like, if you don't look at it straight on, it kind of camouflages into a black. And so I thought that would work for the eyes, because that way, if, depending on the reflective light, it would change color. And I did decide to do our front arms so that it could sit. In some ways, if I do this pattern over again, I would put wire, the drilling wire, and the legs too, so I could even with the toes, so that they could curl and brace. Because my I think if I have any further plans with it, is that we're gonna put Velcro at the bottom of the feet and place it on the wall where it's like climbing the wall, or like have it where it looks like it's about to pounce, like spring and fly off like bookshelf or whatever. Like you can literally aim the wings and to make it look like it's going down, or you know, whatever flight pattern you want it to do. But
she's even talked about maybe having a rider on the back of it.
Yeah, I was thinking about making the saddle and making a rider. Like, I really think that if you have time and your kids have this sort of fantasy, it'd be kind of cool to decorate the ceiling or the really go all out in little battle scenes or fight scenes. Like, make this like a you can dye cotton, like, or even like the polyfill to make it look like it's a burst of fire, or something like that.
And you could make it so that the rider looks like your kids or your husband.
Yeah, so I don't know, it's really kind of cool. I was thinking about, like, imagine making one of these as a mobile. For because it's so lightweight, you could have it where it's like it's going in and out of like clouds or something. And, like, make it look like, and you could possibly put like stringed lights inside, like I said, polyfill, make it look like it's all of a sudden like a sequence of like twinkle lights that will, like, I don't know, it just, people that made this on the review were doing it for different reasons. Like I said, there's some of them that wanted to make it for cosplay, even where they had the dragons like wrapped around their arms to look like it was a pet for cosplay.
Wow.
Just like, but it's like I'm just even thinking other practical uses for like decorating a kid's room, making it decoration for a bookshelf. Like,
Yeah.
It's so versatile, and you can add to it, and there's different ways even just this one version of a dragon can go, because like obviously I decided to make front legs that is not in the pattern, but I even chose to outline all the edges by just taking a permanent marker and just kind of toning it in a little bit just to flesh it out and not have it one color. And even if I had really thought ahead, you could make, because you're cutting out the pieces first, you could technically make all this different colors.
Yeah.
Like you could even make the, if you really wanted to, you could even make the wings out of a thinner version of felt so it could look a little see-through like bat wings.
There you go.
Because you're already spining it.
Right.
So it's not like that won't already work well. It's like you can really make this what you want. And the creator on Etsy has other felt patterns, and even just being on that side of Etsy, you'll see other felt dragons or other patterns of dragons, whether it be like life size where you're actually sewing fabric together to make it, or even crocheted patterns of very huge amigurumis. Like I'm talking like they look like bearskin rugs on the floor. Like these sort of, the imagination of fantasy lives on in creators and crafters, and it's really kind of cool, and I'm very proud of this. Obviously there are things I would have wished that would have done better, but it's all in the process of doing the project in the first place, and I know from this alone I'm gonna want to do other felt patterns.
Yeah. And this is just your first one. Can you imagine what she can come up with after this?
So yeah, I'm really proud of that. And no, he has not named it.
Oh,
that disappointed me.
Yeah. You would have thought.
So yeah, and another thing, I was tagged in a Facebook post
Okay.
by my sister-in-law, Amber, for a crocheted pattern of like this kind of like blanket shawl / scarf thing. It's a long rectangle, but it's wide enough on the shorter distance that it can kind of it can be draped as a shawl, but because it's square, they have like fringe and pockets so that when it's braced over, you can put your hands in it, and but it could double as a scarf.
Oh wow!
Because of the fringe and the way that you could. It's just a big fluffy scarf. And she tagged me in it because she knew I could make it, and then and then a conversation began because there was at least one person that said that they would have loved to have one outside of Amber.
Wow! And
Amber now wants one, and so it's like I'm trying to decide whether it's something I want to actually commit to. Because not that I can't do it, but it's one of those things where it's like these sort of flat 2D things, it's not that I can't do it, and it's not like it's not a simple way to possibly make some money, but it's not really what I do.
Not what you plan to do now.
But it would be kind of nice to have, like, I really enjoy amigurumis, I really enjoy, and I have things I gotta get done. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like, it feels like sometimes my craft really benefits me when I already know I'm tight on money.
Right. Right.
Does that make sense? Where it's like, I'm not trying to make my gift or my craft an expense on people, but it always seems to come in handy
whenever they want something.
Whenever I tend to be in need of money to be able to have my services be something that I can get paid for.
Yes.
And so it's like, obviously I love to make these for gifts. Like this is something I love to do in that regard. But there are more than one time on this channel where I've made stuff for a profit, and so that's something I'm considering talking to my husband about. Like, okay, what would be a reasonable price for this be? I kind of have a number in my head, but I like to bounce it off of him because he's very financially inclined, and it's like he knows. I tend to make the receipts, but he also thinks about like, well, how much yarn is this going to be?
Or how long did it take you? Yeah.
Was the pattern going to cost? But most people want a price right up front, and because I have more of a timeline of how long it takes me to make things like this, what I just made, it's kind of hard for me to be like, because something that simple, if I don't even choose to do a pattern, like buy the pattern, because it's so simple, it's just a thick rectangle with pockets, so squares, and then I just put fringe, and I could technically choose whatever creative stitch I want for it.
Right.
I don't really need the pattern. I already know how to make those shapes.
There you go.
So it's like, do I really need a pattern? I could if that's exactly what they wanted.
Right.
But then it's like, do I have them pay for all that stuff first? Give it to me, and then they're just paying for my time? Or do I charge right up front the whole entire price of just tell me a color and I'm going to pay for everything?
Right.
But then I've already made a set price in which if the yarn costs a certain amount, I've already designated that this was going to be the total price with material and labor, no matter how much the material costs.
Yeah, I would have them get the materials and then charge them for your time.
So yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, I think about that thing, I think about that. And so, I don't know. If any of you do this like I kind of do, I would kind of appreciate maybe how you do it. Like, again,
write it down in the comments.
Like, I'm not very... It's not that I haven't done it before, but on spring things like this where it's like, they're not likely going to use this till the fall, winter. I technically have some time in which I can be like, okay, if this ends up becoming a thing with, or they tell their friends or people want this, I have a set price now for that. But it doesn't take away the fact that it's like, it's taking away time that I would like to use for other creative things. Yeah. So I don't know. And it's like another thing. I have several things I want to get done still, and that Godzilla has to be done no later than November, and la-da-da-da.
And you got your mother-in-law's blanket yet?
Yep. Like, all these things. It's something I have to keep in the back of my mind. So, yeah.
It's going to be a little bit of a shorter video today. We don't have that much to show. We've already showed what we're going to show. So, scripture today.
Oh, I just realized they're saying, if you see my eye at all, my 2-year-old son hit me really hard, and I am healing from a black eye. So, nothing bad happened. My 2-year-old just
chucked something at her, and it was hard.
Yeah. And I still have a welt.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, my skin's still raised, and that was still several days ago. So yeah. Right before I went to a concert too.
Yep. It was, he didn't know his own strength.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. All right.
So, our scripture today is, watch, stand fast in the faith, be brave, be strong. Let all that you do be done with love. And that's found in 1 Corinthians 16, 13 and 14. And that is in the New King James Version. So, yeah, watch. Stand fast in the faith. Be brave, be strong. You know, it's that almost sounds like you're on a battle line or something. You're supposed to not really a battle line, or like maybe the front line of something where you have to stand, you have to watch, you have to be brave, you have to be strong, you have to endure the times that are coming, And that stands for everybody. We all live a life here on earth that we need to accomplish well. And if we're standing in the faith and we're doing the best that we can, we're gonna make it through with God's help. And then that second part, let all that you do be done with love. There again, love is, to me, is synonymous with Jesus. So let all that you do be done with Jesus. Or, so he is Jesus. He is love. He is everything that we need, that we stand in need of. And if we're standing with him and we're living our life for him and in him and, by him, then we're going to make it to the finish line. We're going to do what we need to do to win the war on whatever the devil's throwing at us. And I just thought that was a good one for today, because so many people are going through so many things. But if we stand strong, stand brave, watch, stand strong in the faith, or stand fast in the faith. If we're doing all those things and we're doing it in love, then, we're not going to fail. Jesus won't let us fail. He's living inside of us, so there's not going to be a failure in the group. So that's how I feel about it anyway.
When I read this specifically, and especially how it is written, watch, stand fast in the faith, be brave, be strong, let all that you do be done with love. Watch tells me listen. So, or be quiet. So whenever I've ever been told to watch, that means listen, be quiet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
True. Yep.
Stand fast in the faith. Be quick to remember what you know.
Yeah.
To be true.
Yeah.
Be quick to remember what you know to be true.
Yeah.
Be brave, be strong, and let all that you do be done with love. Be intentional. Because, think about it. Watch. Survey. Acknowledge, be aware of what you're about to do, or what you need to do.
Or what you're surroundings are.
Or aware.
Yes. Aware of your surroundings.
But of people.
Yeah.
Of their circumstances.
Yes.
Because if you're talking, you're not aware of what's actually happening. Sometimes we don't take in the full picture. We don't tend to, because we get stuck.
Yeah.
And I think about the fact of a lot of people get stuck in the way that they feel so much that they cannot change or understand anyone else's narrative or perspective, because they're only basing their decision on how it makes them feel only at the expense of other people's realities.
Right.
And so it's take a moment to watch, listen, be quiet, stand fast in the faith, stand fast in what you know to be true.
Yes. Yes.
Again, I'm not saying that the faith isn't the gospel or God or how he has been faithful to you, or whatever it is you need to apply that to be, to know what you need to have to balance yourself on. I always think of faith as a lifeline, as in sometimes that's the only thing you have. It can be that rock that you're standing on. It can be the buoy that was thrown out to you in rough waters. It is literally
something to hold on to.
Something to hold on to, right? but be quick to remind yourself what that is, because sometimes we get so caught up in our anxiety, our stress, that it controls the narrative, because we're not able to see the truth, because that has tainted everything else. And it's kind of like, be quick to put that lens on, that filter on, that reminder of what is true. Be brave. I look at bravery and strength as determination or diligence, because in a modern day, okay, I have my friend. She's going through a really, really hard time right now. A bad domestic dispute. Her husband is, her ex, they're in the middle of a very nasty divorce, but he is a very demanding, very imposing man. And he is trying to constantly take away her peace at any expense, even if they're not together. And because she has no ability to put a PPO on him safely without possibly either causing more problems, either in lawsuit or in other things, she has to put up with the harassment. And so it's constant, and she's always sending me screenshots and just asking me for a lifeline. Come on, this is really starting to wear on me. Right. I'm out of there, but it still feels like I'm there, because he's following me in my pocket, in my but she can't not give up her phone because there's a child involved. Mm-hmm. Like, there's just so much that makes her feel like she's the scapegoat, and she's the dump. She's what he says, and I have to remember, it's like, watch. Just take that moment to see. Yep. Stand fast in your faith. Remember. Be quick to remember the truth. Yeah. No matter the lies, no matter the garbage. Right. Be brave, be strong. And that sometimes bravery and strength feel like it leaves you without a decision, because you have to, and hard times, otherwise you won't survive. Right. But I encourage even maybe a different turn of phrase of diligent. Yeah. You don't have to put on a strong face to be diligent. You just have to be consistent, show up, and do it. Yeah. It doesn't mean fake it. Right. It doesn't mean it isn't hard. It doesn't mean you can't express or be real, but you show up every day on time, doing your best. It has nothing to do with some days you're going to be numb. Some days you're going to feel it all. Some days you're going to come in shaking. Some days you're going to come in crying. Some days you're going to come in happy. Some days you're just not going to care. Right. But you still are showing up. You are still doing it. And then let all that you do be done with love. And right now, especially even with him, she's constantly just reminding him, if you really had changed, I wouldn't have left. Yeah. You keep he keeps trying to throw out all the things he's doing, all the things that prove it to make him a good person over her, or just da. He's a very big narcissist, so it's kind of hard to be able to wake up a narcissist or make a narcissist self-aware without them becoming something else. But let all that you do be done with love. Truth, just plain facts, out without feeling. Right. Truths. Sometimes she does that, or it's like, do nothing but say the truth. Don't even let your emotions be there. And it's not that the emotions aren't real, and it's not that sometimes she doesn't clap back, but there's these moments where it's like, just say the truth. Right. Leave everything else out. Don't bring what you've done into it. Just say the facts. Hey, if this is really what you're accomplishing now that I'm gone, great. But that doesn't change the fact that while I was there, right? It doesn't change the fact that you're so wishy-washy from hitting me this way to all of a sudden you're trying to be lovey-dovey to at the moment I don't respond the right way within a half hour, you're now calling me this and this and this and this, which proves that half hour ago wasn't real.
Right.
Like just,
Yeah.
what if I'm busy?
Right.
What if I'm, and again, I'm using one example, but like that's a good way of being like, watch, you will see what's true if you take the time to watch.
Right.
Stand fast in what you know to be true.
Right.
Be diligent. Be brave. Be strong. That doesn't always mean that you know what to say. It doesn't mean that you always know what to do. It doesn't mean that you feel it. But just showing up every day and doing what you need to do to get done is getting it done.
Right.
It's still doing what you need to do.
Right.
And then just let all that you do be done with love. You know, I think it is in 1 Corinthians where there's that whole love chapter. I think it's 1 Corinthians 13.
Yeah.
So just going through what love is as a genuine understanding of the definition biblically, it is very specific. And if you need reminder, just go back to that, because it's one of those things where it's like you realize that if we're doing everything in that way, we wouldn't be having these problems, because if we were able to realize that other people have more than just what is our own perceptive understanding, we realize that everyone goes through life differently. Everyone experiences different things, and they have more to them than that they're just trying to make your life harder. Because I know so many people that just round it up to that. They're just doing it to make my life harder. No. You don't know what they've gone through.
Right.
But it doesn't take away the fact that all you can do is acknowledge their behavior. Hey, what you did affected me. Can we talk about it?
Right.
Address the truth.
Yeah.
You get much farther. I love verses like this because it's just like, it's so straight to the point.
Yeah.
Watch, stand fast in your faith, be brave, be strong, do everything that you need to do in love.
Yep. 1 Corinthians 16, verses 13 and 14.
Well, it's a shorter video for sure, but we hope that you have enjoyed it. We are excited for what we'll be bringing next week. Obviously, she'll likely be done by this and probably have started on to something else.
Well, I think I'm going to work on Olivia and Caniel's pieces and get those finished, and then I can start another blanket after that.
And I think I might be either working on what my sister-in-law has requested, or I will have an answer as to what I'm going to be doing at that point with that.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to pick up the Godzilla.
Yeah. Yeah. That needs to be done too.
I mean, granted, it's not that I don't want to get my mother-in-law's blanket done, but the deadline I'm giving myself for that is her birthday.
Yeah.
So that's in the same time frame as the Godzilla.
Right.
So we will see what I pick up. Honestly, both of them need to be done. I might just kind of flip back and forth.
Knitting or crochet.
Right, because the squares are so simple. It's not that it was taking me forever. It's just that I had so many other things piling up that even though that was simple, it was, what am I choosing to do?
Yeah.
And so, I might have like while I'm on the couch and watching a movie, those squares be that project, while if I'm just listening to an audiobook later in the day, I have my eyes on, I'm able to focus on my crocheting.
Yeah.
So we'll see what I'm due, but I need to get those projects done because those have a timeline, so that's likely what's next. So we love you. We hope that you guys have had a great time with us, that whatever project you're working on while you watch us is going well. Yeah. We always love to hear what you guys are making. So if you want to just share with us what you're working on, we'd love to hear from you.
We do love to hear from you.
Any suggestions on maybe, like we said before, selling things. You know, we know that it got kind of varies, but you know, most of our viewers are in state, so
Yeah.
we know that most of those laws are the same. So
Yeah.
anyway, we love you. We hope that you have a good rest of your day, and as always, we hope that you stitch your way
To mental health.